A peremptory challenge is a decision by the prosecutor or the defense lawyer to exclude jurors from the jury without stating any reason at all. Peremptory challenges are different from challenges for cause because challenges for cause only succeed if the attorney can show some good reason for keeping the juror off the jury. In Batson versus Kentucky, the Supreme Court ruled that it violates the Equal Protection Clause for a prosecutor to exclude a juror from the jury solely based on that juror's race. Racially discriminatory exclusion of individuals from the jury caused three basic types of harm. Number one, it denies the defendant the right to be tried by a jury of their peers. Defendants don't have the right to have jurors of their own race, but they do have the right to have the jury be drawn from a fair cross-section of the community, which needs to include members of that race. The second harm is that racial discrimination in jury selection actually violates the right of the prospective juror to serve on a jury. Finally, racially based exclusions undermine both the perception and the actuality that the justice system is fair and colorblind. At the same time, the Batson court did not want to undermine the peremptory challenge rule itself. Many attorneys believe that the ability to use peremptory challenges to keep people off the jury is essential to the adversary system, and the court wanted to avoid any perception that it was eliminating lawyers' ability to do that. A person who wanted to raise a successful Batson challenge had to establish that they were a member of a cognizable racial group that was historically subject to discrimination, and that prosecutors had excluded members of that group from the jury. When a petitioner successfully raised an inference of improper discrimination, primarily by establishing these two facts, the prosecution had a duty to come forward with racially neutral reasons for excluding members of that racial group from the jury. Finally, the court would look at all the facts and circumstances surrounding the case and decide whether, in fact, the exclusion was based on improper racial motivation. After the prosecution comes forward with a racially neutral reason, the defense can argue that that reason was actually a pretext and that the true motivation was racial discrimination. A judge will decide that question based on all the facts and circumstances surrounding the case. The remedy for a Batson violation depends upon whether the violation is discovered pre-trial or post-trial. If the violation is discovered pre-trial, the remedy would be to strike the jury and to seat a new jury that has been determined without racially discriminatory motives. If the violation is discovered post-trial, the remedy would normally be the granting of a new trial.